Well, good morning, everybody. It's Barb Katie here. I'm glad to see you on this happy Monday. It is a typical August Monday, and the temperature's gone back up. We had a cool weekend and previous week, but temperatures are back to normal, and the dog days of August are still with us. So all is as it should be. One of the things that I was thinking about over this last week are the power of words. And interestingly enough, it's not just words other people say to us, but it's words that we say to ourselves. And the messages we send ourselves, whether we realize it or not. That led me in the direction of a book that I really have enjoyed called Am I Hungry by Dr. Michelle May, where she asks us to consider that very question. Am I hungry? And then to listen to how we talk to ourselves and the words we use about what activities we are doing as we go about our everyday life. Um, Sometimes I think when we have been at trying to manage our weight for a long time, we get into sort of what is called by Dr. May diet culture. Other people also refer to this by the same terminology, which is a rigid, guilt-inducing, good food, bad food approach to eating that often has exactly the opposite effect from what we intended initially. And I think that's very true even in our chapters. How many of you have had no foods? A jar where you select a perfectly innocent food, benign in and of itself, and assign to it guilt-inducing behaviors if you happen to eat that particular food. In Tops, we say you can eat anything you wish in moderation. But in fact, a lot of times we act in a way totally different from what we say we do. And that's got to create some kind of conflict in our brains, at least in my brain, as we go about the business of trying to live our best, healthiest lives with happiness and joy. I think most people tend to underestimate the power food has over us. And when we are encouraged to deprive ourselves of foods we enjoy, we tend to create a situation that is quite judgmental and sometimes detrimental to what we are attempting to do, which is just live our best lives in the best possible way we know how. One of the things that Dr. May suggested in her book, Am I Hungry, is to try to not use words like indulge or cheat because they tend to send the wrong message to our brains. Uh, uh, it's sort of like we often hear advice from others who mean well saying to us, there is a way to indulge in sweets and stay on your diet. These messages that I've heard, and I'm sure some of you, if you've ever been a weight recorder or have had a lively discussion in your meetings on this topic, have heard some of these messages as well. One of them is, it's okay to indulge yourself for a while. Uh, Exercise more so you can have a treat. Treat yourself every now and then. Don't beat yourself up when you cheat. Just start over. Plan a cheat day so you can eat what you want. Give in to your craving for chocolate with one small square every day. Eat dark chocolate instead. It's better for you. Splurge on a special occasion, then get right back on track. Substitute a guilt-free snack like fruit instead of candy. These surprisingly persuasive pieces of advice are loaded with all kinds of restrictive messages when you really listen to what you're saying. For example, indulge. Does it not convey to you a sense of being spoiled or being too lenient? Exercise more. Do you have to earn something? Is there a condition applied or implied before you can have this food that you wish to eat? Treat as a noun, a prize, sort of childlike for being a good girl. Here, do this and you'll get a treat. Treat as a verb, something that's scarce, a reward for behaviors or actions that you may have been engaged in. You get this if you do this other thing. It's all conditional. Cheat, being sneaky, dishonest, deceptive, shameful, bad. Oh, you cheated. Shame on you. But it's okay to cheat every once in a while. Start over. This is a game, not a lifelong process. Oh, well, just like playing a video game online, just start over. If you don't like it, just start over. As opposed to living your best life day to day in every way. Give in, surrender, concede, admit defeat, admit weakness. Better for you. This is a way to justify or to rationalize to make it seem okay to do whatever this thing is. Better for you, again, can be really powerful. Most little kids are really good at justifying, and they don't even know what the word means. Splurge. A splurge is something that's excessive. It's sort of gluttonous, more than enough, an overabundance, more certainly than most people need. Getting back on track. Eating what you love is off track, and therefore it's bad. Is that the message you want to send yourself? Substitute. You cannot eat the thing that you really want. You've got to find something else. Like if you're really wanting a sweet treat, you're going to be happy with an orange. Maybe, maybe not. Guilt-free. If you eat certain foods, you don't have to feel guilty about it. These are guilt-free foods. But other foods are guilty foods because you should not indulge in eating them. Well, this type of diety messaging leads to a paradox of overeating and guilt. Even though some experts give you permission to eat a limited amount of a favorite sweet like chocolate, the messages feed unconscious feelings of judgment and deprivation that may, in fact, lead ultimately to overeating. The perception that you are cheating when you eat some sweet treat makes it more difficult to stop once you start. Since whoever they are, and they do a lot of stuff, give you an inch, but you took a mile, you'll feel out of control and guilty because of your actions. This reinforces your belief and theirs. And we're guilty in our chapters of sitting sometimes in judgment of each other without even realizing we're doing it, that you need to be limited or even prohibited from indulging in your favorite bad food. Well, that again is a contradiction when Top says you can eat everything in moderation, but you're learning to label foods as good and bad. Not necessarily helpful to have that type of a dichotomy when you're trying to gain control in a healthy way of your relationship with food and nourishment for your body. One of the things that Dr. May is really good at saying to us and explaining the process is learn to trust your inner expert. Don't allow external experts to set artificial and arbitrary boundaries around eating your favorite foods. Instead, learn to trust your inner expert to eat what you love and love what you eat. And that is one of Dr. May's powerful catchphrases: eat what you love and love what you eat. Uh, there are 5 modified mindful eating principles that she feels will help you to learn how to trust your inner expert. And all of these have to do with one word, and that one word is choice. What you eat is your choice. It's my choice. Each of us has the freedom to choose what we eat. We can either choose to do it or we can choose not to do it. And before making that choice, there are 5 principles she feels we should discover within ourselves and use as evaluation tools before we take action. The first one is awareness. Notice when you use words like we just went through, like indulge or cheat or just a little, or this is better for you. Don't judge or shame yourself. It's a habit you've likely practiced for a long time, so it may take time to change the pattern of choosing a particular thing in a particular situation. Awareness is key to this. Notice the words. Number 2 is curiosity. How often do you say or hear phrases like we just went through a few moments ago? How do you think or feel when you hear them? Does it help or make things worse? You know, words are powerful, and sometimes just the words themselves, when uttered out loud, or even inside your head if you're talking to yourself, which is always a good conversation, can impact you in ways that you will be surprised at how they can turn your choices around. Non-judgment. Instead of using judgmental words like indulge or splurge, just say eat. Don't cheat. Just choose. I mean, you're either going to eat it or you're not. Okay, so there you go. Don't judge it. You chose to eat it. Own it. Move on. Learn from it if you feel you need to adjust the behavior, but don't beat yourself up. Take back your power when you simply choose to eat a certain food. It doesn't make you a good person or a bad person when you make a choice. It just means that you evaluated the situation and you're not doing it mindlessly. You are taking the time to consider your action Consider all the ramifications around it while you're making the choice, and then you're moving forward with the best choice you made at the time based on what your primary needs were. The middle way is something else to consider. And TOPS says this to us all the time, and we always need to remember all food can fit in a balanced diet. Let's let go of good food, bad food. That kind of thinking is not going to be helpful to us in the long run. Some of us have food allergies, and that's a whole different ball of wax. Myself am extremely allergic to strawberries. You can talk to me forever about strawberries and nutritional values, etc. And unfortunately, my choice will be no, thank you. I'm allergic to strawberries. They make me incredibly ill. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that, or I don't like the taste of something, or I don't like the texture of something. And it doesn't always have to be sweet treats, it can be savory treats. Some of us tend to have taste buds that want savory things more than we want sweet things. And the same thing applies in those situations. I am someone that enjoys sweets. I would choose a sweet treat over a savory treat in most situations. That's just me and my taste buds. Doesn't make me anything but different from you. And each of us has to know ourselves as we move through our lives and make the best choices we can. And then the last one, and I think this is probably the most important one, is to practice compassion in treating ourselves correctly as we learn how to choose the best things to get us the results we most wish to have. When I feel physically uncomfortable after eating, I try not to beat myself up and add to that discomfort. I don't know if you've ever eaten more than you probably comfortably could, and you're feeling maybe bloated or stuffed or lethargic. You did it. It's just what you did. Be compassionate with yourself and learn from it. Be gentle with yourself and look at the situation and what led you to choose the things that you chose. Did you allow yourself to be influenced by well-meaning people in the group you might have been dining with if you weren't alone, like at a holiday meal? I'd say, oh, just try this. It's Aunt Betty's. You know how much you love it and how hard she worked to make it for you. Uh, that type of thing needs to be looked at compassionately. Well, you love Aunt Betty. You don't want to hurt her feelings. She's sitting right there staring at you, hoping that you'll like her treat that she makes once a year. Uh, Again, your choice on how you handle it, but be compassionate with yourself for whatever the choice was. Remember, you have the ability to make the choices that are best for you in any given situation. Even if you're alone and you choose to overindulge in something, perhaps, and again, you just choose to eat it for whatever need you feel that food is going to provide comfort for or nurturing, not necessarily nutrition, but nurture at given points in time. That may be the choice we make. Quit trying to be perfect. We're not going to be. We are human beings. We make the best choice we know at the time for the reasons that we have considered. But keep your power. Know that You get to choose. And if you chose something that you ultimately decided was not best for you, guess what? Next time around, you can make a different choice. So I guess my message today is when it comes to eating, be mindful, as Dr. May always says, eat what you love what you eat. You can eat all foods that you don't have medical issues with in moderation as you go forward and learn what works best for you, living your most healthy, most happy life. So enjoy the choices you make and keep on learning each and every day. I will talk to you later. Bye for now.